Oh, yeah! You know what time it is. That's right, it's time for the Eddie and Webby Podcast! Yo, I'ma bust out some theme song action for you. Check it out. The Eddie and Webby Show is fun for all. We drink craft beer and mostly talk about pickleball. So if you didn't know, now you know. 'Cause it's time for the Eddie and Webby Show.
On today's episode, Eddie and Webby show you how to keep it real. This is the Eddie and Webby Podcast.
You know what? I bet we really could extract dinosaur DNA from fossilized mosquitoes if we just tried hard enough. Oh, hey, how's it going? This is Webby, not Eddie.
And I'm Eddie. This is our 83rd podcast.
Oh, yeah. Episode number 83. And today we are going to be joined by a legend in the sport of pickleball. So this is going to be a very exciting episode.
That's right. Another legend in pickleball. Very excited to have him on. We've been trying to get him on for a little while now, so super excited about that. Guys, I just want to remind you that we are live. We are live on Facebook. We are live on YouTube. And for the, let's say, 6 people today that care, we're live on Twitch as well. Right, Webby?
That's right. Hello, all you Twitchers out there.
Yes.
Is that what they're called? Twitchers?
I mean,
I don't
why
know.
not? We can call them that. We can call them whatever we want, right?
That's right. We do what we
Yes.
want.
We do what we want. Very excited to interact with you guys tonight. This show is meant to be interactive, so if you have any questions for Webby or I, but more than likely for our guests that we're going to be having tonight, go ahead and throw them down in the chat, and we will address them. So make sure you do that. We're going to play Dinking Around by Ear tonight, meaning after the podcast is over, if Webby and I are still awake, mostly me, I'm the one that goes to bed early, we might take the stream down and come back within about 5 minutes into Dinking Around. So not sure. We'll let you know at the end of the episode. Right, Webby?
That's right. Yeah, and if we do it, you should definitely join us because Dinking Around is a super fun show. It's all gloves are off. You never know what's going to happen. We usually don't know what's going to happen either, but it's a fun time.
That's right. And Webby, this is usually the time that we go over Twitter comments, but I'm really, really thirsty. Do you mind if we crack open our beers before we do that?
I would love to. I am very thirsty myself. So yeah, I say we do that.
What are you going to be drinking this evening?
So I will be drinking another one from our good friends at New Belgium. And this one is a very tasty one. It's called Voodoo Ranger Juicy Haze IPA. I absolutely love juicy haze type IPAs. And I'm going to be enjoying this one all evening.
Oh, nice.
Probably more than one, as a matter of fact.
I'm probably going to be doing the same because guess what I'm going to be drinking this evening?
What's that?
A New Belgium Voodoo Ranger Juicy Haze IPA as well.
Nice.
Yes, I've been excited to try this one. I'm glad we're able to both try it out on the same evening. We do want to give another big shout out to New Belgium. They are starting to get into the pickleball world. They're sponsoring tournaments. They're sending us beer to be able to enjoy with you on the podcast. So if you guys are out there and you see any of the amazing New Belgium beers, we highly recommend that you try them out and always support those businesses who support pickleball. Right, Webby?
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. Yeah. And like I've said before, I love the fact that a craft beer company like New Belgium is getting into pickleball, and they absolutely will have my support.
That's right. Well, cheers.
Cheers. Sorry, I got a little impatient and I already took a sip, but cheers.
Oh, that's delicious, man. Good.
Yeah, I love hazy IPAs. That's one of my favorite trends that really took off in the last couple of years, and I hope it never ends because I love it. I love that style.
Well, this one definitely does not disappoint. You know what else never really disappoints me, Webby?
What's that?
When you share with the world, the universe, all of the millions of people who want to know what's going on with Twitter. What's going on in Twitter?
Well, let me jump inside Twitter right now on my handheld device and see what's going on inside of the Twitter. There's been a lot of comments, a lot of tweets going on. Let's just grab a few of them here. Here is one from Pickleball Max. They say, "Enjoy the videos, enjoy the videos, Eddie and Webby. Keep your head up, Webby. Zane's pretty good." Well, thanks for the support, Pickleball Max. I'm assuming that is in response to a recent video that was posted. It was one of the Webby versus Everybody series of videos where I competed against one Zane Navratil. Some of you may have heard of him.
Who?
And yeah, I think a few people listening might have heard of him before, but
Maybe.
it was actually a pretty good match. We did some crazy things in the match, and if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. It was a great time, super fun.
Yeah, looked like fun.
Well, thank you, Pickleball Max. Here is another tweet from Pickleball Schmickleball. If Eddie is capable of producing a great show like the Around the Post show, why does the Eddie and Webby show suck so badly? Come on. I mean, I agree that the Around the Post show has been great. I've been loving watching that with Kyle and Johnny Pickleball, Kyle Yates, Johnny Pickleball, and Eddie has been producing that. I thought they've been great. So that part I definitely agree with. I do not agree with the part where he said the Eddie and Webby show sucks. So
No.
I think you kind of suck, Pickleball Schmickleball.
That's right.
Honest opinion.
Well, we appreciate you tuning into both shows.
We do, yeah. As long as who cares? As long as you're tuning in, if you think we suck, that's fine. But just keep tuning in, and we're happy. But let's do one more Twitter comment here. Here's one from Tom Brady at Eddie and Webby. Eddie and Webby are the goats of pickleball podcasting. Goat emoji, goat emoji. Nice. That is very kind of you, Tom Brady. Very kind of you.
Tom. Yeah, that means a lot coming from you.
Yeah, much appreciated, and definitely appreciate that. And that's going to be it for the Twitter sphere for today.
Oh yeah, good stuff.
But you know what? I think it's about time to get to our special guest. What do you think about that?
I think you should do that by now.
Well, I am very excited to spend some time with today's guest. He is a legend in the world of competitive pickleball. He's earned countless gold medals and has won numerous national titles in both singles and doubles. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the show, Chris Mills Miller. How's it going, sir?
Hi, very good. Glad to be here.
Nice. This is awesome. This is definitely a treat for us. What do you got? What do you got there?
Definitely for me too. Well, in honor, I always drink Coors Light, and I've already had two, and that's a lot for me, I'm telling you. But these were in the fridge, and you tell me which one you think I should go next.
Ooh, oh man!
Because I don't drink dark beer.
Yeah.
Can you see these okay?
Lagunitas IPA. I know that's a very tasty one. I'm not sure I'm familiar with the other one, so my vote would be. Yeah. Oh, okay. I'm still not. I don't think I've ever had the other one. So what do you think, Eddie? If you've had both of them, what would you recommend?
You got to go with Ballast Point.
All right.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Eddie knows his stuff. Eddie knows his stuff. He is a craft beer connoisseur. In fact, he is. What's your title? What's your official title in the beer world?
I'm actually a BJCP recognized beer judge, and I've had both of those IPAs or both those beers before. Lagunitas IPA is delicious. But yeah. I've enjoyed everything I've ever had from Ballast Point, so that's why I would recommend.
All right, I'll let you know. I'll start it after I'm done with this next Coors Light, and then we'll go for it.
Okay.
My little brother, my youngest brother John, he's amazing with his dark beers, and he's into it. And I'm just like, I'm just not. I just would rather drink hard liquor if I drink.
Gotcha.
And I don't do that well either. Okay, I'm a lightweight, to be honest.
Wow.
I think half the people on the pickleball tour, they go, Chris, we've never really seen you drunk, because usually when I go to tournaments, I got to get up at 6:30 and go play or something.
Right.
So I wait, to do it, or when I don't play the next day sometimes. And it's an easy. I'm an easy mark for that. I mean, I get drunk easy. Okay.
Cheap date, huh?
Yeah, I guess so. Right.
Nice. So for those listening that are unaware, we had an absolute blast hanging out with Chris during, along with some top pros during the Pickleball Getaways live panel back in November. But it's awesome to be able to spend some time getting to know you better on a more personal level here today. And first off, I just want to ask, how are you doing? How are things going? And are you still playing a lot of pickleball these days? Have you been able to get out on the court pretty regularly still?
I'm in San Diego right now, and I'm trying to take advantage of the weather, but I'm nursing some injuries, so it's been really sad in that department. It might as well be raining. I might as well be in Seattle, because I haven't been able to play as much as I like. So hopefully it'll be getting better soon, and I'm ready to start this tour. I'm getting anxious, because it's in the new year and everything.
Right.
And hopefully
Okay.
this COVID thing is not going to be, sticking around like it has for 2020. Well, let's hope,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, definitely. Let's hope and pray to get that thing out of here. So
Right.
you mentioned you're nursing an injury. Our research team actually informed me that you pulled your calf muscle during a men's doubles tournament in December, but you still managed to make it to the gold medal match. Is there any truth to that story?
Yeah. It tweaked on me and went out like the last 3 tournaments. And then I was in the gold medal match with Cammie and Mix. And right during the gold medal match, it tweaked in the game 1. And we started game 2 and I forfeited. And then I was playing with Dane Gingrich tomorrow. I called him that night and I said, hey, if you want to find a new partner, there's no way I can play. He said, hey, let's just see what happens. I'm not going to get anyone new. And I showed up with one leg and somehow I thought our first game was like really close. And somehow we just won 2 straight, and then it just kept on going. And somehow we got to the finals when I thought we'd go 0-2, and I wasn't walking well. Let's say that for sure. And it actually turned out to be a really fun tournament, and we ended up playing, I think, Scott Crandall and John Sperling, 2 guys I'm playing with again this year a lot too. It was a really fun final, I thought. Well, I hope it was. I haven't even seen it, but just having me hobble along, I hope it was entertaining anyway,
Nice. Well, speaking of Dane, Eddie, do I see a comment from Dane Gingrich there?
Yeah, I wanted a little clarification because Chris is saying that he wasn't playing well because of an injury, but Dane Gingrich is saying you were hungover in our last event. So which one is it, Chris? Injury or hungover?
Well, I just said, I don't drink very much. Dane's probably just trying to crack a wise one. I see those funny emojis. But, but the 2 events that I got, because me and Dane had a lot of events playing, we were going to play last year, but the COVID wiped them all out. And the 2 we did play, or maybe we did 3, we won 1, and then he was injured in one event, and then I got injured. But at least we still got to the finals, and 2 of them. It was nice.
Nice.
And and Dane was great. I mean, he carried me. He really did. I mean, he had to, it took me like always, like you say you get to the net on your 3rd shot drop, but I couldn't. I needed a 5th and a 7th to crawl over there to the kitchen line.
Oh, man.
But it's okay,
Nice work, Dane. Good job carrying Chris. So we can't have a legend like you on the show without finding out about your background. So how did your pickleball journey begin?
Oh, wow. I know I've gone over this a few times, but I learned it in high school and PE class. And I remember I begged one of my PE teachers, I go, I really want 6-period PE because the way I play, I'd be all out sliding and diving and sweating like crazy. And I didn't want to go to class like in the first period and go show up in second. And you know what I mean? So I would stay longer after 6. I'd try to play as long as I could till then we could take keep the nets up. And I just continued that through a community college that I went. And even I played at my Green River Community College, and I didn't stop, That's where I really put some time in and started working a lot, definitely on my singles game. And I started like my first USAPA tournament, I think it was 1989, something like that. So,
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I've been doing it for a while.
Very nice.
All right, I'm starting this one. We'll see. My face is probably going to cringe a little bit, okay? And I don't think this is a twist off. So.
Oh, yeah, that's how you know it's the real deal. If it's not a twist off, that's usually a sign of it being a decent
right.
deal.
Oh man, I'm not going to leave you because it could take me 10 minutes to find something to pop it with. So I'm doing Coors Light. Here we go.
Oh man, all right. That'll do for now, I guess.
Take a little break. I'll find a bottle opener. Okay.
All right. So you said you first played back in your PE class when you were in high school. Is that what you said? When you were high school age? So if I'm not mistaken, don't you have some experience being a PE teacher?
Yeah, I was a high school PE teacher. Oh man, since '96, on and off for 20 years. I think I subbed more years. I was like full time, like eight years or 9 years. I was a high school baseball coach for a lot of it. And then I subbed a lot just because at certain points I was a long-term sub too for a few years, but I liked the subbing because I could pursue my pickleball and play it whenever I could and travel for tournaments and stuff. It gave me more free time. My family thought I was crazy, my brothers and, my mom, dad at the time. They're like, once you stay and make some more money and all I want to do is play, and I'd try to put in 5 hours a day or more and just hit, And mainly it wasn't really doubles even. It was all singles. And I wouldn't let anyone take the court unless they could beat me. So I really wanted to play singles, and I ran around like a chicken with his head cut off. My game isn't pretty. A lot of people know this. I'm kind of it's an ugly game, but effective. You know what I mean? So even my doubles as well. But I like
if you can get the job done. Yeah, if you can get the job done, it doesn't need to be pretty.
Right. The guys that give me the most fits, like I seem to read tennis players really well. I like playing against tennis players, but if I meet someone that has like a background with no racket sport or a racquetball or something, it really messes with me. I mean, the funky styles are kind of that's what makes pickleball, I think, so unique. Is really cool. So people's ugly game. There you go.
Yeah.
The uglier, the better you could be.
Yeah.
So it's good.
Yeah, I love that too. You never know what to expect. Like I love it. I love it. So when you in your PE teaching days, like did you ever add pickleball to the curriculum for your students?
I usually didn't get to choose my curriculum, but I always made sure I did each, semester a unit. So I got to specialize in something that I love, and I tried it. And if I wanted to, I could kind of adjust some things I did, meaning I would maybe teach a little longer, keep the unit maybe 2 extra weeks, something like that if I could do it. You know what I mean? And I would, as long as if it didn't, mess up any schedules from the other teachers at some point in time, I tried to do the best I can and teach pickleball as much as I could in a way. So yeah.
All right.
Cool.
Very nice. So I've got a lot more that I want to get to, but I actually want to change gears a little bit here. We started this segment last year, and it turned out to be a lot of fun. It has become extremely, extremely popular. And this is actually our first time doing this segment in the year 2021. But without further ado, I say it's time for the Pros Asking Pros Questions segment. Oh, yeah. Are you ready for this, Chris?
Oh, boy. No, I'm not. No.
Well, this first one... Okay. This first question comes from an absolutely amazing pickleball player and a great friend of ours. Here's a question from the one and only Lucy Kovalova.
Milsy! Hey, Mills. Hey, guys. In case you guys don't know, Mills is the legend and definitely future Hall of Famer. But I have a question for you, Mills. What is the funniest story you have related to pickleball? I miss you. Bye. Oh,
wow. That's sweet. That's almost the nicest I've seen Lucy be to me right now. Okay. Yeah. She usually is vicious, and you got to be on watch your P's and Q's with her. But Lucy is awesome. I love her. She's so sweet. Gosh, let's see. Did she say the most embarrassing?
She said, what's the funniest story that you have related to pickleball?
God.
Embarrassing sounds good too, though. If you have an embarrassing one, let's hear it.
Well, you showed that last clip before, and I'm not surprised you're going to show it again. But when I don't know what you called the serve, but it went to the wrong side and hit me square in the ding-a-ling, so it hurt. It was bad. And Joe Valenti made that a funny video out of it, so it was good. But I'm trying to think. It might be something like, when you're playing rec with your buddies and you just always talk shit all the time, something like that. You just have fun with your friends, and then it escalates. And but, geez, I don't know. There seems to be so many. But it's usually something like that when you're talking smack with your buddies. And, I had a lot of that over the years and a lot of indoor play. So things get loud and echoes, and I remember some friends, like we almost got kicked out of the gym, like basketballs come fly on the court and they'd fight with basketball players, and they're thinking, what is this stupid sport? Get out of our basketball court, or something like that. But, oh God, she just caught me for a loop here. I'm not sure if I can think of anything offhand right now. But it's probably something to do with probably Tim Nelson in it or Brian Ashworth being really goofy, something to that extent. If something comes to me during, I'll come back to the Lucy question, okay?
All right.
Because I'll be pondering stuff all the time. So that's good. But it was really good to see her. I love Lucy. She's so sweet. We do a lot of traveling, and I've got a lot of opportunity to stay in the same house as her and Matt Wright. When I'm with Irina, staying with her, and they usually put me in the kitchen, and I like to cook sometimes. I only make a few things, but I do these tacos. And if I remember, Lucy's a vegetarian, I think, if I'm right. I hope I'm right on that, Lucy. So I don't know. But Matt likes all the meat, so whatever I can, that kind of thing. And I'll make it either way. I have a good special recipe, like hot sauce that my dad got me hooked on when right in high school. And I swear all I ate in college was these tacos with this taco sauce. And it's Mrs. Renfro's green salsa. It's so bomb. I'm telling you, it's the best thing out there. You can't dip this stuff, but it's just good on burritos and everything. It's so good.
Nice.
I lived off that and sometimes peanut butter and jelly. Okay. So it just depends.
So it sounds like you make a pretty mean taco. I don't know if you're aware of this, but Kyle Yates actually hijacked our podcast one time and showed the best way to make a taco, in his opinion. I feel like we should sometime have maybe a Chris Miller versus Kyle Yates taco cook-off or something like that.
Taco off, yeah.
Yeah. Wait, I've made my tacos. I've made my tacos for Kyle Yates because he stayed at my house for a summer, and I made it for him. So he's probably using my recipe. Okay, so
oh man,
as long as it's not as long as he's not using my salsa, I'll kick his butt on this.
I think he did give you credit when he did it, so that's good.
Okay, all right.
That's
so
good.
I think I got Kyle hooked on that salsa. It's so good. So
nice,
excellent.
Very cool. Well, thank you for that question, Lucy. This next question comes from one of my personal favorite people in all of pickleball, and that is Mr. Rob Cassidy.
What's up, Eddie? What's up, Webby? How's it going, Chris Miller? Now, I know a lot of people are curious on what Chris's take is and where to get the best coffee in Seattle is. I also know a lot of people are dying to know whether or not Chris has seen the Queen's Gambit yet or not, and what his thoughts were on it. But today, my pros to pros question for Chris Miller is, Chris, how many national titles do you have? What are they, and who'd you get them with?
Wow, that is a loaded question there. Did you get all that?
Oh, that's so awesome. Rob, he's one of my favorites all time. When I met him in Rochester and came up for a tournament with Billy Jacobson, it was so much fun meeting him. And I wanted to just say, hey, I like you, man. Why don't you come down my way and we'll practice, play some tournaments, and that's how it formed. And Rob's just taken off and doing so awesome. So his first question, the movie Queen's Gambit, I love that movie so much. I thought I told Rob about this movie. I don't even know, but because I like to tell a lot of people about it. Have you guys seen it?
I have not.
The Queen's
What about
Gambit?
you, Eddie?
Oh,
Nope, not yet.
Oh my God, it's so good. I love the competition part of it, but you guys, I've actually watched it twice, and once I watched it in the whole day, and the other one was in 2 days. But it's just really fantastic. And you guys, you got to see it. Once you start it, I'd start it early because you're going to stay up all night and just watch every episode at once. Okay?
All right.
You won't go to bed. So make sure you start it way before dinner time.
All right.
And Rob, I wonder if I thought I told Rob about that movie too. What was his first question about it before the Queen's Gambit?
Your
Best
favorite
in
coffee.
Seattle.
Yeah, best coffee in Seattle.
God. So now I know he's just making fun of me, but my friends know me that I'll drive like an extra 25 minutes to get a good latte. I always drink like a 8-ounce vanilla latte. And you can't get anywhere a good one in my like city and town back home in Seattle. And I drive an extra 15, 20 minutes just to get something really good that, I'm picky with those. So, but Rob is like, he'll crash with me. He'll stay like a month in my house or something. And I go, hey, you want to go get a coffee? And he's like, he knows that's going to take like an hour. So he's like, no, dude, like it's too early. I'm going to sleep. Just, give me I'll be here when you get back, So, that's kind of funny, but I do like to do that. I'll even drive to Seattle, just to go get a good coffee spot. It seems like I know all the really good coffee shops around. I don't know how many national titles I have. I think I have like 9, 10, or 11, something like that.
Wow.
A lot in age brackets, you know, a lot in singles, a lot in doubles. You know, my best, I don't know. I remember in 2014, me and Matt Staub, we took the silver medal. I got so many silver medals, I don't even know what to do with too, but I still love them just the same. You know what I mean? I think even taking the silver in one match was just as nice as, you know, winning some gold to me. So, and I learned more over the years that because I was such a singles player early on that it took me a while. I think I really stopped playing singles in 2012, 13 and focused more on doubles. And it took me 2 years to get back in the net because I always played doubles, but really, I don't think anyone wanted to play with me because I was playing a singles game in a doubles world and I would just do these random horrible shots. And, you know, it took me forever to find partners, you know, in the beginning because everyone knew that, you know, my backhand sucked at one point and I was just ripping single shots the whole time. And it took me a while when I dedicated myself and I played with Billy and Dan Gabnick on a regular just to say, hey, this is, you know, I want to get good. And these two guys are in the Hall of Fame right now and two of the top players of all time. And they really helped my game just to practice with them. It was awesome. So
Nice.
And, you know, and they, you know, help me and I like, you know, helping others a lot, you know, just like I did with Rob in a way. I mean, Rob would have found his way anyway, but hopefully, you know, I did that for him a little bit, you know what I mean? You know, just the traveling and everything like that. And he just didn't stay in New York a little bit. And a shout out, he does pay it forward because I know that he set me up with his buddy in Rochester, Jose Dorisi, and he's a new on the senior tour. And did I say senior tour? Shoot. Okay. And I don't know. I got to play with him. He's going to be a really good player. I'm partnering with Jose in about 5 or 6 events and some of the majors, and I'm really looking forward to it. He looks really good. We had a few games and that's it, but I think our styles are really going to mesh, and we're going to do some good things this year. So I'm looking forward to playing with him, and Rob Cassidy helped put that together. You know what I mean? So thanks, Rob, and looking forward to seeing you soon, and also with Jose to play with you.
All right. Awesome. Yeah. Great question. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of Rob Cassidy. He's such a great guy, super, super funny. I love hearing him do commentary. When he was on the show, it was one of our longest shows ever, and he was so grateful. He was so grateful for all the questions, like for his pros asking pros question segment, like getting a question from you and all the other pros really meant a lot to him. So he's like really down to earth, just a overall great guy. Big fan for sure. And that's actually not the only question you have from Rob. Here's question number 2 from Rob Cassidy.
My second question is, have you ever competed in a tournament against Tim Nelson? And how'd that go? Hope you guys are doing well. Eddie and Webby, take good care. Chris, I love you, man. Hope to see you soon.
God, he makes me want to tear up. He's such a good dude. Thank you, Rob. I knew Tim Nelson was coming up sooner or later. You know, I didn't think from Rob right away. Me and Tim, we had so many battles. Like, this guy would not stand down. I'm sure Tim's going to be on here soon. And I didn't want to back down either. Like, if it was just an outball call or whatever it would be, but we just battled on and off the court for the first few years. And I don't think we really liked each other because we were just competitors against each other. But we worked it all out. I really liked him a lot, and he's done a lot for my game and helped me. And he's still a young guy over there. I don't think he's even 30 yet. And I played a lot with him this last summer too. I think he's playing really well. I know he's got some issues, like he doesn't play in the heat very well and has some heart issues, but boy, he's one of the smartest ones and a really great player. But yeah, we battled and we fought and we argued, and it felt like we almost went to blows like 5 or 6 times. Like off the court, like he would not ever back down. I mean, I feel like I finally did because this kid was so persistent. You can see why he's pursuing his stuff to be a lawyer, and it'll probably be a damn good one. So I know, I'm pretty impressed with that. He's a smart kid. So, and really talented.
Yeah.
So,
So,
good question, Rob. And
yeah,
with
great
Rob,
question.
I love Rob's. I was telling you earlier, remember? And I was going to say with Rob, I love his enthusiasm, the way he plays. And I told him, he knows this too, and he probably knows I'll bring it up, but just to match his intensity is so hard to do. And I almost think like, even when I'm my highest intensity, I might be bringing him down. You know what I mean? So, but he's a stud, and he's playing so good right now. And I remember when I asked my question, I loved how excited he got, and just to pick him up and let him know, he's such a good dude. And not only that, but I remember after my question, because I was watching, and he's talking about, it was about a ball, like maybe it was like the type of ball. And I just wanted to say, oh, Rob, stop. It was like 15 minutes about just the ball. And, and so I teased him, actually, I didn't even brought it up, but I brought it to you guys. So if I overtalk, just remember, interrupt me and say, let's move on. It's really good. So, Rob, I love you, man. Thanks, man. That's good.
Yeah, thanks for those questions, Rob. Eddie, what's going on social media?
There's been quite a few questions coming in. So many that, yeah, we will have to keep the answers short in order to be able to get through all of them here. Michelle Esquivel, not a question, but just commented saying, yes, Voodoo Ranger. Cheers, boys. Love Michelle.
Oh, nice.
She's awesome.
Cheers, Michelle.
Yes.
Hi, Michelle.
First question I want to go through here is from Chuck Frame, and Chuck asks, could you let us know your favorite woman and man partner, as well as your toughest to compete against, and why?
Wow. So my favorite and worst is she's
your favorite woman's partner, favorite men's partner,
and men,
and as well as the toughest to compete against.
Toughest to play. Okay, I don't want to say the word. Okay, you know what? Wow. If I had to pick one, oh boy, how did I not think about this would come up for sure, right? You know what? Just recently, and before I turned senior, I really loved playing with Irina in the very beginning. Hi, Irina. In the end, it was like we were brother and sister, and we wanted to chop each other's heads off. You know what I mean? But playing with her was so unique, and she had such a different perspective of the game, being new coming in when I helped bring her in a little bit, or found her, and through I stalked her friends. But she's so smart, and she dinks so well, and she just makes you think. You got to be on top of your game with that. But I really liked Irina. I really enjoyed playing with Jennifer LaCour. I played with her for 3 years. We went into a lot of tournaments, like we were the number 1 seed a lot of the time, and I was honored to play with her at one point. She helped put me on the map too, because she was so good, even though I was playing like 20 years before her. She was just the top girl playing at the time, and her and Alex were really good together. And then I played with a lot of people, but those two, I played with Irina almost 3 years, Jen 3 years. They got to be right up there, of course. And then I'm trying to think of just someone I played with just one time I had a lot of fun with. I enjoyed playing with Cammie just recently, and Jennifer Dawson, Cammie McGregor. And I'm shouting out a few. And then for like the guys, let me think. Wow. I enjoyed playing with Brian Ashworth a lot. We just had a lot of fun together at one point, especially in the beginning. And it was just fun even practicing with him. And even indoors to outdoors. He says he doesn't like indoors anymore, but on the hardwood. But it was a lot of fun doing that. I like playing with Brian sometimes. And then like Irina, we became like brothers because Brian lived in my house for 6 years. Then it was like, then we didn't want to play with each other that much. Or maybe him more so than me. And then, I had a few with Rob. I had a lot of fun with him. And I played a few, like a year with Tyler Lung was fun. And I'm trying to think Levon Major and Billy Jacobson were a lot of fun to play with. I really liked Levon and Billy never talked back. because he just never talked. I'm just teasing because Billy's deaf. I would talk to him, but he never say anything back, and I would love to mess with him. But he was a lot of fun. And let's see. It's probably somewhere in that right there. And I've played with so many different partners. It's just hard to say. And sometimes you just click with a lot. I mean, even this last year,
that's like your toughest that you've gone up against. Like, it doesn't have to be recent, but in the history, is there like one particular opponent, man, woman, singles, doubles, that is like they were always the toughest?
Wow, yeah. Well, I know when I was playing with Irina, Matt Wright and Lucy was just tough to play. We always got to like the final four sometimes, and Lucy was just crushing the ball, you know what I mean, on me even. So, and for a girl facing that, she was really tough, I think. I don't think I've ever, if I think of some guys I haven't beat, I've never beat Ben yet in a doubles match. It seems like I played everybody, but sometimes they were new coming in. It was fun beating these guys that are top at their game. And some of these guys I've beaten in singles before or doubles before. And, I may not be able to beat them now, but, I'd still give them a good game. Usually it's a style like Wes Gabrielson. He was tough to play with early on. He gave me fits. I swear I said I told Wes, I go, Wes, I know I could beat you like 11-0 if you couldn't switch hands. But he'd pin me in a corner and he just would destroy me sometimes because he could switch paddles and put it in his left hand and just, I don't know where that came from. It was amazing. And it was really tough to deal with at the time for me, to see this ambidextrous guy come out there and just, play amazing. He was really good. So he gave me fits at time, not only just singles and doubles, but both, you know what I mean? And I usually didn't have a player that did both for that. Tim Nelson, though, might be my biggest competitor, the toughest at one point when I was trying to be the best at one point. Tim, might have been, and he probably got the better of me over the years. You know what I mean? He was good. He was super smart, and he controlled the game so well. So I don't know. That could be it right there.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's good. I mean, you
in my career, my
main league names.
Yeah, in my career, Tim Nelson throughout the whole thing, and then maybe recently a girl. I just remember Irina being most mad at me when we were playing like someone like Irina or playing Lucy. You know what I mean? Because I don't think we got over that hump to beat them. And we might have once. I doubt it though, and it was tough. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then Irina would get pissed at me.
You don't want Irina mad at you, that's for sure.
No.
Yeah.
Definitely
not. You
not.
don't want that. You don't,
Yeah. That's good stuff. We got another question here, and this will be the last one that we bring up before the next pro one. But it actually is from a pro, and that's from Fad, Frank Anthony Davis. He says,
Oh, God.
Mills, what's up, dude? I know we have talked about the evolution of singles before. What are your thoughts on the current game of singles?
Ooh.
Wow. You know what? It seems so different when I watch. Fad is the scrappiest guy that's ever lived. I swear. We've battled in some games. I know I beat Fad before, and he came back and just beat the crap out of me the next year. And I don't know. He's got to be ranked pretty high right now. He's top 3, 5, 4. Well, I don't even know what he is, but the game has evolved a little bit. Like you see when they get to the net, it's like a doubles match almost. They're dinking and there's no one there, and you got to hustle your butt over there just to put another dink down. And most people didn't, I was always trying to hit for winners, you know what I mean? And if I was going to dink it cross court again back, if I was at the kitchen line, it was either going out or it was going to be a winner, you know what I mean? And but the game has evolved a little bit. There are a lot more better players out there as a whole. But I miss being I don't know. I stopped playing singles, so it's really weird, and I always want to get it back. But I think I dove on the ground and even on the cement. I was sly. I swear I mastered it on the hardwood floor like a penguin. and just sliding everywhere and diving everywhere. That I miss singles a lot, actually, and I don't play it as much. And when I do play the last 5 years, I just show up. And, I got lucky enough to maybe practice like maybe, 3 times before I go out there. And sometimes I have a good showing and I'm on, and the other times I just look like I'm a 3-5 out there because I don't practice it anymore. But I really like to get back into it. It's just that I'd love to extend my doubles career as long as I could. The singles, it takes a toll on you, and the way I played it, I think I owe Billy Jacobson for that, because that guy could hit a dime anywhere on the court throughout my career, and I dove so much just because of him that, he screwed me up completely. I mean, I'm in the chiropractor 3 times a week because of that guy. So,
oh man.
So there you go.
Yeah, I've got to say, like, I've watched a lot of your matches, and like they're very entertaining because you're not afraid to put it all out there and take those dives. If you want to watch some great dives, watch some Chris Miller matches on YouTube, because you'll see some great dives. They're pretty epic. And I've talked about this on the show before, but like I really started getting in this singles pickleball last year. And I have so much respect for people that play singles, because it's such a tough game, and it's so much different. I know you touched on this earlier, how people would get mad at you because you played a singles game during doubles. And I know exactly what you mean, because like when you're playing singles, it's just you, and you're responsible for covering that whole court. So I know, like, if you're still in that mindset, like it's in doubles, I could see it being a little tough sharing the court with somebody else.
Right. No, totally. And it was hard for me I wanted to play the best partners, and then I think I became more of an unselfish player because I wanted to share that experience, and I accomplished everything I wanted to do in singles, but I wanted to win in doubles. You know what I mean? And I remember when I told you I was playing with Billy and Dan to help me get better, and Don, I had the keys to the gym. We're at my PE at the high school, at the elementary school this one year, and I swear for 6 weeks or 6 months even, we meet, twice a week, or like every Saturday morning. We play for 5 hours and 4 hours at least. And I would play with each partner, and we'd do 2 rounds, and I'd lose with Dan, lose with Billy, and then I'd lose with Don. And then I'd lose with Dan, lose with Billy, lose with Don. You know what I mean? I wouldn't even win a game. And that went on for like months. You know what I mean? I just was like, and they probably would have found a different fourth if I didn't have a key to the gym and somewhere to play when it rained, right? So so they had to play with me, you know what I mean? And then all I know is one day I went up to Billy, and he's reading my lips. I go, Billy, today's the day. Today's the day. I'm gonna win. I'm gonna do it the right way. I'm not gonna play singles anymore. I go from here on out. And he looked at me like I was crazy. Like, oh, okay, whatever. You know what I mean? And then I won. I won with all 3, and then I kept winning with all 3. And then I was like, I was ready to go. And I started to I quit singles completely and just saw, like, God, if I can beat these guys, where the sky's the limit, I was thinking. And I was just wanted to – now I was just focused on doubles. And 2014, I really had a really good year. You know what I mean? So it was nice. A lot of tournaments went well, and still are in a way. You know what I mean? I've had a lot of fun and a lot of challenges. Even like 15 and 16 weren't my greatest years, and 17 turned out to be a really good year. And then I don't know when I got old and started the senior tour. It happened. So, you know what I mean? So there you go.
Well, 2020 was by far my worst year of pickleball, because I didn't win one medal the entire year. I know I didn't play many tournaments because of COVID, but still, I played enough to where I should have won at least a couple medals. And there were a couple close calls, but yeah, 2020 sucked for me in many ways. So hopefully I can turn things around and get at least one medal in 2021. But
it'll happen.
All right, good. That's good to hear. All right, so we got a lot more pro questions to get to, so I say we move along and get to the next one. This next question comes from a fellow legendary pickleball player. In fact, she's so legendary that she's in the Pickleball Hall of Fame. Here's a question from Jennifer Lucor.
Oh, hey, Eddie and Webby, Jennifer Lucor here. How are you? Hey, I hear you have Chris Miller on your show, and I was just reading about him. Let me get my glasses on. I was in the Washington chapter in the history book, and it says in the late 1980s, Chris Miller played pickleball in his Seattle high school PE class and later competed in tournaments at the same community college where Steve Peranto started playing a decade earlier. How cool is that? So, Mr. Chris Miller, you have been around the pickleball world a very long time. So what do you think of it now, and where do you think it's going?
Great question.
Yeah. That just reminded me of when Jen would come up to Washington. She likes to come to Washington and just explore every little nook and cranny of pickleball stuff. So I remember going to doing the Canadian Nationals with her. I had a lot of fun doing that and just traveling with her, and she loves to travel. So where it's going, boy, it's going so fast and it's getting so big, and the tournaments are, you look at – I remember you could scroll on pickleballtournaments.com and you could see everything on one little screen, and now it's like it takes a day and a half to find your tournament. So, all over the country, wherever it's going. You know what? I hope it makes the Olympics, and I hope they have a senior Olympics. I don't know. No, but I think that's where it's going. But I heard, all the talks and the rumors, like if it does, they'll have to change it to rally scoring, and so be it. Let's do it. Let's get it out there because the world is starting to play, and everyone loves it. It's an addicting game, and it ain't stopping. And COVID ain't going to stop it, and we're playing, and we're not going to stop. And it's the best sport in the world in a way. It's really cool.
Oh, for sure, and especially in the summer, I feel like COVID caused a lot more people to start playing pickleball than used to play pickleball. Like it was one of those sports that was considered like a pretty safe activity for people to do, especially outdoors. And I feel like it just really blew up during COVID, especially in the summer. I know where I'm at, 2 years ago, it was a struggle to fill up 6 courts at this place. This really nice facility by my house has 6 fairly new courts outdoors, and there was hardly ever anybody there whenever I would go there. But in 2020, it was packed every time I went there.
Right. No, I know. There seems to be a lot of new people coming, and so yeah, and they're coming in drones. Everything's full and packed. Yep. I know, like Bobby Riggs is so full, and I go down there just I can't play right at the moment, but you got to go a week in advance just to reserve a court. And it's crazy. Yeah. And that's another person I like playing with a lot. He's so easygoing with Steve Dawson, and I played a lot with him my first year coming. He's so calm, and the whole Dawson, family is fun to play with. I played tournaments with Tyler, had some great tournaments with him and Callan, and I played a lot with Jennifer. That was in the negotiations when I came to work there. Steve's like, hey, you come work for me and work at Bobby Riggs, and I'll give you my wife. And I'm like, all right, I'll play with her. That sounds good. Perfect. Sold. That's what sold me, I got a good girl partner. She's a top player in the world, and I'll take it. So nice. It was a good deal. And that reminds me, I just watched the match last night. If you guys were paying attention to the Florida, I don't know what it's called, the weekend last weekend, the World Classic or World Tour. I don't know what it was in Florida.
Oh, yeah, the World Pickleball Championships. Yep.
Yeah. So, hey, props to those are my boys, DJ and Callan, winning gold and just killing it. And they played so awesome. I watched the whole thing last night, and I already knew they won, but God, it was so good to watch. And I love seeing them win and representing Bobby Riggs, and it was so great. Not only that, I love to watch Jay and Pat. They played. That match was so much fun. It was such a good match, and they're such a good team too. I love watching those guys. I talk to Pat every now and then. He's a good dude. So, but I love to see Callan and DJ win, and I'm proud of those guys a lot. That's awesome. So
yeah, that was very fun to watch.
I was trying to get Callan to. I was going to do this interview with Bobby Riggs today. in the office, and he was gonna come in. I'm gonna do a little cameo for him, and but he wants to. I told him he should get him on the show because Callan Dawson, to me, he's like top 3-5 guy in the world right now. He's playing so steady, so good, and he has got such a unique style that nobody has. Nobody has, and he's so good. So, and DJ, look how talented he is. He looks so good today too, or this weekend. So awesome.
Oh, for sure.
Anyway.
Yeah, we definitely got to get them on the show, no doubt. Love it. Love watching them play. So we just heard from Jennifer.
He's ready.
Awesome. Nice. So we just heard from Jennifer Lucour, but she's not done. She's got another question for you. So here's another one from Jennifer Lucour.
Hey, Chris Miller. We played together mixed doubles for over 3 years. So we were in a lot of tournaments, had a lot of fun, and traveled and won a lot of hardware together for sure. So learned a lot from you in pickleball. So I thank you very much for that. My other question for you is, what do you think about players out there on the court that yell and cuss and throw their paddle and yell at the ref? What do you think about that?
What do you think about that, Chris?
I love it. If anything they can get away with, but they keep it in between the lines, you know what I mean? And don't go, I don't know. I'm used to be one of those guys, kind of. I've tamed it down a little bit, but you know what? I like a little fight and spunk, and just to see people on the edge a little bit. It's a little bit my style, but try to keep it a good taste, I guess, if that's possible. I don't even know, So, I don't know, but I know when Jen would always tell me, Chris, don't do that, and I'll just say, geez, okay, you know what I mean, and so. She was always trying to be the best she could be, and she was. And I was always pushing the envelope the opposite way sometimes. I don't even know, you know what I mean? But it was so much fun playing with her. I mean, it was an honor, and we, always did so well. And it was it was nice. And I always woke up, and it was nice to have a bye. You know what I mean? So I didn't have to get up at 6:30. I could sleep into 7:30 and enjoy a latte if I could find one, somewhere, and sleep in a little longer. And a lot of that was because of Jennifer, and because we did well and had some fun. It was a good tournament. Good playing with her.
Nice. Yeah, you guys were definitely a great team, no doubt about that. So we heard from Jen Lucour, who is a Pickleball Hall of Famer, and we actually have a few questions from another Pickleball Hall of Famer. So here is the first question from Steve Peranto.
Hey, Chris, I bet you never thought 15 years ago when you and I were playing there would ever be pickleball podcasts, and you'd be a pro and there'd be other pros asking you questions. First off, I do have a story, though. I was playing Chris at State Games of Oregon. And when I was in my early 50s, I had never played him before, and it was singles. And silly me, thinking I had a chance at beating this 30-something player who was at the top of his game. Anyway, I remember that match really well. We were playing on the wood floor, and I was hitting shots that I thought were absolute winners. I was like hitting them and going, yeah, it's like it's a passing shot, and you were diving and hitting winners back. Anyway, if you remember, when that match was over with, I told you, and I meant it, that you're the best singles player I've ever played in my life. And later that year, you won the national singles title. And after that match, I went up to you, and you were pretty emotional. And you told me, hey, Steve, I never forgot what you told me that day earlier this year. Anyway, that was a great moment watching you win the national title. And my first question, Chris, what year was that?
Wow, that's super cool, because most people probably don't know Steve as well. Steve Peranto, he's definitely a legend of the game, and he was there from the beginning when I came in, I think. But he was in Oregon and I was in Washington. But when we met, and we played. And when he said that to me, it was really cool. I just have a lot of respect for him. And I remember when he said that, but it was in 2010, and I was in the finals in 2009, and I think I dove on the cement. I was up 9-0 to a guy, and I had a concussion, and I tried to battle my way back in 100-degree heat. I didn't make it. I took second, but I remember he said I was emotional, and that reminded me because my mom passed away, and I did it for my mom, so it was really cool. So anyway, it's nice that Steve, brought that up. And when he told me that comment, because I knew Steve was good in his day, and he was one of the best. It was the best, and playing singles against him was just really fun. It was really awesome. And so yeah, for him to tell me that was really cool, really awesome. So
nice.
Awesome.
Yeah. Steve is an awesome guy. Huge friend of ours. We've known Steve for a while. He was on our show a while back, but I have so much respect for Steve. I love what he's done for the sport. I wish more, like you said, he's not super well known. Like the casual fans don't really know the impact that he has had on the sport, and I feel like that's very unfortunate. But anybody that does some research, I mean, if you look, he's in the Pickleball Hall of Fame. He and his dad both are in the Hall of Fame. But right. I mean, I can't wait until the day that I can go. I've said this many times. I can't wait till I can go to his place and play pickleball on his court, drink some of his homebrewed beer. That'll be like a dream come true. And that's one of the first things. Like once the COVID thing is better and traveling is considered safe again, and I can go there, that's one of the first things I'm going to do. So I can't wait for that. But yeah, that was a great question, Steve. But we've got a few more from him. So here we go. Here's question number 2 from Steve Peranto.
Chris, there was a time, and I remember this well, when you were known as just the singles player. What was the big change you made from singles to doubles to get that attitude to be an excellent doubles player? Was it strategy? Was it patience? Tell us what switch you flipped to be a great doubles player.
Nice. You know what? It was really, I kind of went over that a little bit and told that story, so it was nice already. But playing with Dan and Dan Gabnick, Billy Jacobson really helped me a lot. And just to finally dedicate myself to it and really work at it, because I needed the work to do it. I didn't even want to dink at all. So I just wanted to blast it all the time. And so, it took a little discipline, but it was easy to do, really. I mean, when I figured, and it's like that day when I said, today's the day, I said, I'm just going to do the right shot and make it work for me. And then when I have my openings, they'll come, and then I can get to play my singles, my shot in there. You know what I mean? And no one's going to stop it, or whatever. So when I get that opportunity. So yeah, that's kind of what it was. So I went over that a little bit, and I think I even heard all those naysayers in a way, like, oh God, he's just a singles player before. You know what I mean? That it was a motivation for me too, and because I knew I was going to be good, I just had to stop playing singles. That's all it was, really. So there you go.
Right. All right. Very nice. So here is question number 3 from Steve Peranto.
All right, Chris, be honest. Back in those old days, none of us had paddle sponsors. Never even dreamed of such a thing. And in that time period, you were a little bit hot-headed on the court and maybe even abusive to your paddles. Now that we have paddle sponsors and you are sponsored, you are able to maintain your behavior on the court. Is it just because you're told you have to and you're doing it, or has Chris Miller just matured on the court?
I knew some of that would come out. You know what? I don't mind having that John McEnroe kind of label a little bit, but I was never ever really mad ever or anything like that. And I broke a few paddles here and there, but I know that. What was really cool is when I signed with PaddleTech finally. I think it was PaddleTech with 7 years, and Curtis Smith, I love him to death. He's such a good guy. He took me in I never even really had to sign a contract with him. And that's why I also love Steve Dawson so much. Just everything I did, he's like, hey, this is you until, it's not, you know what I mean? But Curtis took me in from Paddle Tech and said, I love your fire. I love how your style and your play and your edge and, even your breaking paddles, whatever it is, I like it. And I want you to be Paddle Tech. And that meant a lot, just how he liked how I was on the court in a sense. And I think he knew and saw that I wasn't really gonna, throw a paddle into a stand or anything like that, or pull a Jeff Warner. Just kidding, Jeff. Okay. So I never went that. I mean, I once threw a paddle into the cornfields in Brigham City, Utah, but there was nobody over there. You know what I mean? It was like a desert of corn, and I just never went to get that thing again. But yeah, Steve noticed sometimes I'd use like 6 paddles in one game. Something didn't feel right, I would like throw it in the garbage can and grab a new one and go. So I'd carry like 6 paddles in my bag and use every one for a match because everybody has a bad day or a bad game. It happens,
Right.
So there you go.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And so you mentioned Jeff Warnick, and I kid you not, like one of my all-time favorite pickleball videos is that clip of him chucking the paddle, and then the I believe I can fly starts playing.
Right.
It's one of my all-time favorite videos.
Great.
And I do, like, I imitate the Jeff Warnick. Like, I don't actually throw my paddle, but like if I ever piss myself off or like do something stupid, like I'll act like I'm going to throw the paddle, but like just that motion of acting like I'm going to throw it helps. Like it really does help. Like just acting like I'm going to throw the paddle. So I mean, yeah,
right.
it's there's something to that.
Yeah, no, that is such a good video. And do you know who put those videos together?
It's if I'm not mistaken, wasn't it Tyler Long? Tyler Loong, I mean, sorry.
Tyler Loong, yeah, okay. I wasn't gonna say it, but maybe, I think everyone knows now. But he even did the better one of Zane. You remember that one?
What's that?
You saw the one of Zane, the other video he did. He's famous for the other one, Tyler, for putting the other one together.
Which Zane video are you referring to?
Move, bitch, get out of the way.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay.
You know that one. Come on.
Yeah.
It was so good. Oh,
how could I forget?
I have that on my phone and I watch it at least once a week. It's so good. Just to put a little smile on my face. So, that's so classic. But yeah, then that's my second one.
Nice, but Tyler was on the show. We played the video, but we had to mute the audio because due to copyright issues, both Facebook and YouTube are very, very anal about playing any copyright music. So we had to mute the audio. But like it doesn't have the same effect. It doesn't have the same effect unless you have the music going with it. So everybody, do yourself a favor, check out Tyler Loong's channel on YouTube, and he's got some amazing videos, including those classics that Chris mentioned.
So wait a minute, Tyler Loong got on this show before me. Oh boy.
And we've been trying to get you on for a while. It's a scheduling conflict. Scheduling conflicts. No, it has nothing to do with popularity.
Tyler's awesome. I think he's him and Rob Cassidy, those two. I love playing. I played a lot with Tyler, a lot with Rob, and I love playing with lefties. They're awesome. Tyler's a great athlete too, so he's good. He's really good, and a lot of fun playing with him.
Oh, for sure, absolutely.
We played in 2017. I think we did really well together, in the pro events. So it was nice. He's a little soft. I can't tease him. You're good.
Oh, a little soft. So, okay, all right.
He's getting more aggressive. I've been working on that with him since the very beginning. But now he's playing really well, and he's so good. So, and he can jump like 18 feet in the air, and just land in the out of bounds and poach and Ernie anything. So it's good.
Yeah,
really good.
I love watching him play. So we've had a few questions from Steve Peranto, and you mentioned Zane. So I feel like now's a good time to take a little break. We've got more of the pros asking pros questions to go, but I think it's time for a break because you brought up a couple good topics. So Steve Peranto was very influential in the whole drop serve rule that recently kicked in. And speaking of like serving rules, like there's like different serving rules kicked in this year. Steve Peranto was very influential in those. And then there's no denying that Zane, he's made a lot of headlines. Zane Navratil has made a lot of headlines based on his little chainsaw serve, or the Zane saw serve, whatever you want to call it.
I haven't seen it.
Oh, you haven't? Okay. Well, we actually, it's
No.
it's quite controversial. Some people love it. Some people hate it. In fact, some are saying that rule decisions have been made by different organizations because of this serve that Zane has done. And if you don't know what we're talking about, we have a video clip showing the controversial serve that Zane has done. So, Eddie, I think now is a good time to go ahead and play that clip of Zane's controversial serve.
0-0.
Can you believe that?
Yeah.
He was using a ping pong paddle when he served that. That I'm pretty sure that ping pong paddles are not approved to use in tournament play. Isn't that true, Eddie? Are those approved for tournament play?
Not legal.
No. So those are not legal. So Zane, you need to check yourself. And I can totally understand why there are some rules being made, or like ignoring certain rules. To not allow you to do these serves that people don't agree with, and that was proof right there.
You know what? I don't like it. I don't like the serve rule. I don't like the net rule. And then I don't know. I think if they put it in, I'm not sure all the reasons. Maybe because for beginners. But I think if you're going to evolve in this game, even for beginners, you got to – I mean, it's not an overhand thing like tennis. You know what I mean? But if you're going to evolve in this game, you got to be able to serve it underhand. You know what I mean? And not, let it bounce. I know maybe it's – look, even for the lowest of lowest skill, they still could, give me an hour lesson with anyone. We'll get the serve going, okay? Anybody that can teach a serve, it's going to happen. You know what I mean? And to bounce it – and I don't know if some pros are taking advantage. Like, obviously, Zane, I'm surprised he could hit – he can use his bare hand and serve it pretty good. He's so talented and he's such a good athlete. So, but I just think, isn't this rule on a 1-year basis trial?
It is. Yep. It's currently like on a trial basis, provisional. Yep. So we're going to see how things go. And then next year, I think it's going to be like permanent, whether it's included or discarded from the rule book.
I think it's going to be gone. I really think it's going to be gone. That's my opinion, but I could be way off. And the net fault rule thing, I think they'll both be gone. I don't know. But that's just, I don't really like it. Why not keep it the way it is? It just works. I mean, are they trying to do it on a time thing? Is that what it is? I don't know what, we got to do it again. You know what I mean? It's just like an extra side out if it's the time restraint thing. I have no idea what the rule was on this.
I think that's the thing is I don't know that it was necessarily explained what the benefit was, and maybe it was, but I don't think it was made very well known. The fact that you don't know, the fact that I don't know, I think that's the biggest concern people have with is why, and where's the explanation behind why and making that public.
Right. Yeah. So I think it'll be gone. You know what? Let's try it out. And then already I just saw the email for the PPA. They're getting rid of it. They're not employing it in their tournaments, at least for the pros, but they are for the lower skill, 4 or 5 and below. So I don't understand that. It's like you should maybe do one for all, but maybe this is fine. I don't care. I like it. It's the same for us because I've already played a few games thinking I stop every time now. And it's not just because it's messing me up a little bit, like because I stopped because it clips the net. It's just that I just think it's a bad rule. I don't know. That's just my opinion. So
all right. Now, did you know that? Now, did you know that Steve Peranto is the reason for the drop serve rule?
No, I didn't. Damn you, Steve. Damn you, Steve.
Yeah. So here's the thing.
Yeah.
So I feel like the people, the decision makers didn't do a great job of explaining why it was implemented. But if you check out Steve Peranto's videos, Steve has a lot of great videos, and he's actually been pushing this for years, like for many years, and he gives a good description of like why he thinks it's a good move and things like that. So I encourage everybody to look up Steve Peranto on YouTube. You'll see a bunch of drop serve videos out there, and you'll get a good description. And a lot of people don't realize that he was one of the driving forces for this rule. I'm good with it, but I definitely understand why people are not good with it. So, I mean, we'll see how it goes.
Right.
I think we'll let's let this year play out. We'll see what happens, and then
Right.
we'll see how it ends up. But yeah, I mean, that's the main reason I wanted to take a little break and talk about those rules, because Steve was pretty influential in regards to the drop serve.
Steve did it? Okay, never mind. I changed my mind. I love this rule. It's so good. I love it. Let's keep it.
Honestly, I'm telling you, like if anybody watches all of the videos that Steve did, it makes a lot of sense. But if you don't watch the videos that Steve did, I totally understand why people think it doesn't make sense. So
I've watched them and it still doesn't make sense.
Oh, really?
You know what I
Interesting.
think is there's going to be some pros out there that are going to have this funky serve. Like when I thought you were showing me this video of Zane hitting this ball, I thought it was going to be like something amazing, like untouchable to return. And someone's going to create some total funky mess, and it's going to be, an advantage for something. And because you can put probably so much backspin or topspin or whatever spin you want on it, and just make things, for the 1% that could take advantage of something like this. That can, you know what I mean? That might be like triple jointed and can put their hand backwards, and so they can do something and it'll go an ace. You know what I mean? I don't know. So I just think, it might go back. I haven't seen really maybe 2 people do it and take a full advantage of just to do it. But I don't know. If people need it, I don't mind. As long as I don't think it's going to be a game changer. You know what I mean?
Right.
There might be. I don't know. I heard there's some pros that are loving it, but I haven't seen it yet in some kind of match or tournament to affect a game outcome yet. You know what I mean?
Right.
If it happens and it does, let's see. And if it's a big deal, I mean, I don't know. We'll see where it goes. It's a year trial, right? So we'll do it from that.
Yep. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And so for me, I don't think the drop serve is going to have as big of an impact as people thought it would. Zane's serve is actually, Eddie, maybe you can fact check me on this, but isn't Zane's special serve that he's been doing, isn't that more of the COVID serve that's allowing that to happen? Do you know?
Yeah. Yeah. So basically what was put into place here was, in order to allow people to not necessarily feel like they had to touch the ball with their hands, they delayed the ball and play rule. And I know I'm butchering this, but basically they took the ball and play rule and they delayed it until the moment that the ball was leaving your paddle, not when you started the serve motion, which meant that anything leading up to that point where you started the serve motion, you could do. And so what Zane was able to do with that rule was to take the ball and spin it off his paddle head, creating a ton of topspin, and then add his topspin shot on top of it. And even though it was in a low to high fashion, it's still, following those rules, it still was allowed because of the quote unquote COVID rules, which was just delaying when the ball was in play in the serve motion.
Right.
So Zane actually does this shot for his serve down? Bounces it or no?
No, he doesn't bounce it. He puts the ball in his paddle. He rolls it to create topspin. And while it's in the air, he hits it out of the air with topspin as well. That's
I think okay.
Some people are calling it the chainsaw, the Zane saw. I've heard it called a number of different things. It's genius. I mean, you have to compliment the guy.
I thought Morgan Evans does something similar to that.
Well, Morgan was taking it out of his hand and then spinning it forward. And prior to these rules going live, so like the APP Punta Gorda event, Zane was doing the same thing as well. He was taking the ball and he was throwing it in the air with topspin and then hitting it. But as of the World Pickleball Championship, which is after the 2021 provisional rules went in, that's when Zane started to do the the Zane saw coming off of that.
Okay.
Right.
Interesting.
And for people that don't get our sense of humor, the clip we played earlier of Zane, that was from the most recent Webby versus everybody match. I thought it would be funny if we played something totally unrelated to all of the drama and the headlines that Zane has been making. If we showed him serving with a ping pong paddle during our wacky match that we had.
Yep, I think it went right over everybody's head, unfortunately.
Yeah. I've also had a couple beverages, adult beverages, and I feel like my comedic timing might not be as spot on as it might have been earlier in the episode. So that might have had a part to play in it as well, but whatever.
I'm right there with you. It's okay.
Nice.
That's how we like our guests. Nice and lubricated.
Very good.
That's right. All right. So we had 3 great questions from Steve Peranto. We actually have one more from him, and here is the final question from Mr. Steve Peranto.
Jesus.
My last question for Chris. You know how proud I am of Wes Gabrielson when he was coming up, and I got to have an impact on his playing and his professional level at pickleball. Do you have any of those people that you are mentoring that you're proud of, and who are they?
Oh, wow.
Good question.
I don't know. I mean, I just talked about Rob Cassidy, but he didn't need any mentoring. I don't know how to I don't think I've been that big of an influence because I know Steve is like Wes and Enrique are like, sons to them, that kind of thing. And I just try to do good and help anyone I can, whether it's partners and, when I got injured, that reminds me, I love Adam Stone. That dude is such a cool dude. And I was injured with a tennis elbow, and, he would have made it on his own either, just as at the speed he was going, because he's so talented. He's top player in the world right now. But it's like maybe I helped that go even faster, for a year. He took all my partners in 2018. I don't know when it was, 19. Yeah. I gave him all my partners, and I had, Tyler Loon played a bunch with. I can't remember who they were, but, he didn't have anybody, and it's like, hey, I can't play this year. I'm out. Here, take this and good luck. And Adam just shined. I mean, he's such a baller and he's so good. And so just stuff like that. If I could help anyone help their career, I'd love to do that. You know what I mean? And even if it means just last night, I'm trying to help people partner with just other, when I'm injured, if I can't leave, I say, hey, I know a good guy, I know a good girl for you, use this and take it and good luck. And I want you to do well. And, if you don't have that mentality to, the pickleball community is such good quality people that it's, I met just the most amazing players all throughout the nation. And as soon as I started traveling early in the, got to 2000s, just to big tournaments instead of just playing in the Northwest at the time, and then you get housed and just, I met so many amazing people and I've lost touch with so many. I mean, one of my favorites I remember was in St. George, Ogden, Utah. Bonnie and Bob Whalen, just staying at their house. They're just amazing hosts. And just everyone, I've had so many good ones. And I've lost touch with so many. And you meet so many new people along the way, and you go with different friends. And I mean, I just talked to, I love Deckel Bar and, just some guys that I've been hanging out with more. And, Callan is one of my favorites. I lived with him for a year here, and, I'm more closer to Steve Dawson than I am with Callan Dawson, and maybe it's my ego, but it's like, I feel close to Callan because I live with him, but I lived with Steve and Jen for, when I first took the job here at Bobby Riggs, and they took me in their house, and they were just awesome. And Steve's like, I look at him as like a dad, but really he's like, just a few years older than me, and we play together as partners in the senior tour, you know what I mean? And yet I play just as many terms with Callan, and it's so much fun. And I play with Tyler Dawson, the other one, and with Jen. I play with all these guys, and girls, and they've been so awesome to me, and I love playing with all of them equally the same, you know.
Yeah, I mean,
and one of my best friends was with Tyler Dawson, and we barely played together as much. And you know, we made a good run playing against Wes and Kyle Yates, and it was like 14-12, and we would advance to the Final Four. Instead, we had match point like 6 times, and we didn't make it. And you know, I had just as much fun playing with Tyler as I did any of them. And you know, Tyler's quit to become a doctor, you know, and doesn't play as much anymore. But anyway, I've just met so many good hosts and players along the way, and there's so many awesome people in pickleball that I love it. It's great. So
that's great. Yeah, and you know, you mentioned Wes Gabrielson. Our actual next question comes from the one and only Wes Gabrielson.
Hey, Dad. It's your son, Wes. Or, for those that aren't aware, Chris Miller is like my dad in pickleball. I always call him Dad. Some people know him as Father Time. We won't get into that right now. But I hope you're doing well, my friend. I've got a couple of questions for you. Number one, I know you're a big music lover, and we've talked about music a lot over the years as friends. I know you're a big U2 fan. If you had to pick your top 2 favorite U2 songs, what would they be?
Wow. This is, you know, did you see all those records he has in his back?
I did. Yeah.
It's like a record. I mean, it's like thousands of them. I mean, this guy knows music better than anybody.
Oh,
you know, Wes is one of my favorite guys in a way. Just seeing him, and he's probably one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. And he calls me Dad, but I swear he looks older than me. And he, you know, if he takes off that beanie, he's got more gray hair than I do. Okay. And, you know, it's funny if he's watching this, I haven't watched it in years, but I watched it last night, but I only watched the first 2 games of her. I've had so many gold medal matches against Wes and a few with Wes. We've won some great tournaments together, and he's so damn talented. And I'll tell you that we watched the 2014 national championships, and we were just battling, and they beat us in the finals in a tiebreaker, and they adjusted. You know, I thought we got them because they beat us twice that day. They're the team that put us in the losers bracket. But I watched a little bit, and I haven't watched it for years, and it's actually a really fun, awesome match, I thought. It went from day to night, and it was in Phoenix, Arizona, and it was just awesome. Anyway, he's so good. I don't think he gets enough credit. He's so talented. He gets to switch hands, and he's still doing it, and he's great. So top U2 songs. I don't want to go so basic to say like somewhere on Joshua Tree, but I really liked I think the song's Unforgettable Fire on that album, and some reason I like 40. The song's called 40. And that's it. I mean, just off my head for U2. I've made Wes a couple CDs actually, because we really get into music sometimes when we get to talking. And I'm a big fan of Billy Joel, and I made him a CD just of Billy Joel. I call it the best of Billy Joel that you don't know. So Billy Joel's not his top 40 kind of hits. You know, Billy Joel old school. My dad really got me on Billy Joel. And I moved in with one of my high school teachers. He was my ceramic photography teacher, and he got me into some old school Billy Joel, and I really like still to this day. You know, so anyway, I love talking music with Wes, and just talking with Wes. He's just a standout guy, probably my favorite guy in pickleball. You know, I lost touch with him, and then sometimes it's just, you know, we talk on the phone, and I remember one time we talked for an hour and a half, and we're all cut up like we've seen each other in 2 years. You know, I got to see him this summer, and we got to hit together. It was really awesome. I was in Bend, and he met me up there, or I met him up there, vice versa. But it was pretty awesome. He's a beast. He's so good.
Nice. Yeah, we are huge fans of Wes Gabrielson, and we actually have another question from Wes. And you mentioned Billy Joel. It has to do with Billy Joel. So here we go with question 2 from Wes Gabrielson.
My second question for you. I know you love Billy Joel. What would be your top 2 favorite Billy Joel songs?
All right. This is easier, but Vienna for sure. And if you guys don't know what Vienna is, then Google it and go listen to it because it's a fantastic song. You guys know it?
I don't.
Nope.
I'm not, are you familiar with that one, Eddie? I'm not familiar with that one. I like Billy Joel, but I'm not familiar with that song. Yeah, I'm not kidding.
All right, I'm out of here. Fuck this.
Oh no. All right, well that's the end of the podcast. Thanks for tuning in, everybody.
So I'm getting my beer. Here we go. So Vienna, and then I'd say probably something on like it might be Glass Houses. I don't know. God, what's the other one? Shoot.
We didn't start the fire.
No, no. Everything before 76. But you know what? I'm just gonna throw out for Eric Wall, my buddy. I'm gonna say Billy the Kid. Just as a cool song, you know. But just Google Vienna and listen to it. You're good, all right. Hey, do you guys need some light back here, or are we good? Or is it getting dark?
It is getting kind of dark. I mean, if it's easy for you to add light, go for it. If not, no big deal. Totally up to you. But this is the beauty of live podcasting. You never know what's going to happen. You never know if it's going to get dark. We dealt with that when Scott Golden was on. He was in his car for the beginning of the podcast. It was daylight, but then it got dark, and then we could barely see him. But
he also got kicked out of a pickleball club during. That was the same podcast too.
Yeah. Our first time ever having Scott Golden on. He was in a pickleball club during the beginning. They kicked him out, so he went to his car, and then it got dark, so we just couldn't see him at all. Like the only light that Scott Golden had was the light from his cell phone that was in front of his face. So
nice. All right.
But,
I did an interview with
that's
Scott Golden
much better.
like 2 years ago or something.
Oh, nice. Yeah, Scott's a good buddy of ours. He's been on a few times. I mean, he's been on the main podcast, but then we have a spin-off podcast called Dinking Around that nobody really watches, but we love doing it. But he's been on there a couple times.
Right on.
All right, so we got your answer from Wes's questions, but we actually do have one more question from Wes, and this is going to be the final question. It's going to be the final question of the Pros Asking Pros question segment, so let's go ahead and roll it.
And lastly, are we ever going to see you play a rematch in singles against Canadian legend Brian Lamb? Hope you're doing well. Love you, my friend. Stay safe and well, and I will see you on the court soon.
What an asshole. No, I didn't think you'd bring it up on it. No, I remember some guy I lost to in Canada, but I already got in the losers bracket and I was like kind of done with it. But I probably lost to. He played great. He had some great shots. This guy Brian Lamb, and he beat me. In Canada, I don't know, but yeah, played fantastic, and Wes will never let it down. You know, he that I lost to him. So, but I've already beat that guy before, I think, so it's okay. You know, and I've done all my damage in Canada too already. Okay, I know I'm winning over there. Played a lot with Billy Jacobson over there, and won a lot of Canadian national tournaments and stuff. So.
Nice. So you're dominant in the U.S. and Canada. Nice. Worldwide.
Well, worldwide. Let's go to other countries. Let's do it.
Nice.
I had a lot of fun
that was awesome.
Oh yeah, in Spain. Yeah.
Nice. Well, I see that Tyson McGuffin is tuning in. He said 20 plus tourneys a year in the 90s with zero prize money. Heart emoji. So big respect from Tyson McGuffin.
Yeah, McGuffin knows the heart emoji is probably going because just for the love of the game. That's what I did. Yeah, I'll play these tournaments and never make a dime. And now Tyson's doing what I did, and now he's making millions. And sponsors like crazy. And so,
right.
But he's the best at it. He's really got it going on. Hashtag
do you ever
going on. There you go.
Right. So do you ever get jealous of today's pro players now that like pickleball is really taking off and sponsor money is coming in and stuff like that? Do you get jealous of that, or are you just happy to see the growth?
No, I'm happy to see it. I mean, I'm still taking advantage of it now. I mean, just because I got a late start, or maybe you can think of it still as getting an early start, I took advantage of, whatever I could. I just played because I love the game. And, Wes is kind of in the middle of that, and Steve was even before me. But I mean, I'm reaping some rewards still, and I like that. And, but yeah, it didn't bother me at the time. That's why I told you my brothers and my family think I'm crazy because I was playing the sport and not making any money doing it. And it's like, if you're this good, why aren't you making any money, So it's finally kind of happening, a little bit anyway. So
nice.
Which is good.
But yeah, I mean, that just shows how amazing pickleball is because, I mean, people like Chris Miller here, I mean, before sponsors were really kicking in, he got the bug, he got addicted to pickleball just like all of us are today. And it was like before it was cool, I guess you could say. Mm-hmm. I know it's kind of a hipster thing to say, but yeah, you were into pickleball before it was cool. You were addicted to it. It became part of your life. And it's one of the things I love about this sport. I mean, it really takes over, but it makes people's lives better. And for that, I thank you, pickleball, and I think we all thank pickleball because of it.
And to give a shout out to my sponsor now, which I left Paddle Tech, and I was there for a while, and now I'm Power Balance and going forward and rocking it with my sponsor. And Brett Thomas has been taking care of me. It's been awesome, and here we are right here. These are our logo. Where is it? There we go. I'm looking on the video, so there we go. So yeah, Power Balance, and it's been awesome. It's been a fun year. Just COVID is taking its toll on a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? Other opportunities that could have been even bigger and better. But either way, I've already been to the lowest of no money to sponsorship with a lot of money, and COVID's it's okay. I was there in the beginning. Like I said, wasn't making a dime. I had to pay for my own paddles, for God's sake.
So oh man, it's unheard of for the top players,
right?
Yeah,
but,
who pays for their own paddles? Jeez,
right? That's crazy. No, that's awesome though. I don't want to take up too much more of your time. I can't thank you enough for being here tonight, but I do have one question I want to ask you. We've heard a lot about some of your pickleball accomplishments, but is there any moment that stands out to you as your favorite, or at least one of your favorites? Like just one moment that really stands out to you in your pickleball career so far. I know it's far from over, but like what so far really is super important and meaningful to you?
When I dedicated to win nationals in my singles, and I did it for my mom when she passed away, it was something huge for me. It made me work just extra hard, and that kind of maybe stands out a little bit. I was emotional at the time, and it was rough for me for a while when that happened. For 2 years, it affected me in a way. But pickleball, in a way, brought me back to normalcy, and I feel like it saved my life in a way. I don't know how to describe it, but it was I got back to doing my normal thing, and that was just playing, and picking up a paddle again, and saying I can do this and be really good. And that's what I tried to do. And then switch it again. And maybe that would be in the single sense. And then in doubles, maybe, geez, I don't know. There's something that stands out, but you know what? I really loved playing the nationals in 14 with Matt Staub and playing against Wes and Enrique. I just thought it was a fun match, and the journey to get there, and like even Matt Staub playing against his dad, Brian, and beating them, and they were the former national champions. It was just, I just remember it was a great day. You know what I mean? And it's stuff like that. So that stands out a little bit. And then, and just everything's a little stepping stone, then meeting new partners. Like then it went from me and Billy traveling to New York. We met Rob Cassidy. Then, I enjoyed playing with Tyler Loong, and then I got to, Adam Stone, he ended up coming to my house. He was in Houston, and we ended up partnering up and becoming good friends. And then because of Adam playing with Deckel and meeting this really shy guy from, oh God, I don't want to say where he's from. I tease him all the time. But like Deckel's personality, I'll say this all to everybody, but it's like he was so quiet and shy. He's like a big teddy bear. And now, if I see him, he's just like, fuck you, Mills, and he never would swear at me. And he's awesome. You know what I mean? So Deckel's the nicest guy we've ever met too. He's like a bigger version of Wes. Okay, there you go.
Yeah, super nice guy. He's got the dance, the Deckel dance.
Oh yeah, I wish he would never do that anymore.
The pickle.
When I see that, I can't watch that. I cringe. Okay, he's too big of a guy to do it anyway. Okay,
it's a little cringeworthy. So. Not gonna lie. Yeah, I can agree with you there.
Yeah, Deckel, stop doing that thing, pickle thing. No more. Jesus. All right.
All right. Well, before we part ways, I do want to find out, like, what is your 2021 looking like, and is there any way that people can keep track of what you're up to follow the adventures of Chris Miller?
You know what? If there's a tournament, I'm going to be there. I got a bunch of partners spread out. I'm playing a lot with Cameron McGregor, maybe one or two with Jennifer Dawson again, who I say I like playing. I mentioned Jose Gerisi. I've got a lot with him that Rob Cassidy helped hook me up with. John Sperling, I got a bunch with him. I'm playing a few with Tao, and I've seen him over the years. And then a lot of individual, one or two tournaments just spread out. I like to play different people anyway, and I'm playing with Yvonne Ting a lot this next year. She's a fabulous player. So yeah, I don't know. I'm just happy to be playing and getting out there and doing it. And so, and just looking forward to it. And, and I don't want to stop, you know what I mean? So there we go.
Nice. Love it. I love hearing it. Yeah, this was such a fun night. Thank you very much for joining us. Can't thank you
My
enough.
pleasure.
And I know earlier you expected possibly something from Tim Nelson, aka Puppet Master. We didn't get a video from him. We actually did get a bunch of questions for you from him. Unfortunately, they aren't things that I'm comfortable reading on the air for this podcast. So maybe in the future, maybe we'll have you back on Eddie and Webby After Dark, and we'll dig into all these questions that Tim Nelson had for you. Yeah, we would definitely need. Version. We would have to be on a different format than Facebook or YouTube to be able to ask the things that he asked. But who knows? Well, maybe one of these days we'll get to those.
Send those questions on a text message for me, will you? That's
okay.
Perfect.
Yeah, we can definitely do that.
Right,
but this was awesome. Super fun night. Thank you very much, Chris, and have a good one.
Yeah. No. Hey, thanks, guys. Thank you very much. Have a good night. We'll talk soon.
Oh man. Such a fun night. Like I love the fact that we were able to get him on. He's one of those people that like I've been wanting to have on the show for a very long time. I love talking to people that have been in the pickleball world for like longer than most of us have even known what pickleball is. And yeah, I loved it.
Yeah, I mean, he's an OG, right? I mean, he's been playing the sport for, God, since you and I were 8 years old. Imagine that. Imagine if you and I would have picked up pickleball when we were in elementary school or middle school, right? Like how different it would have been now that we're so into this world.
Oh yeah. I think back and I wish I would have known what pickleball was when I was younger. It's just, man, it's crazy to me to think about the fact that pickleball has been around for so long and I only found out about it 3 years ago. I mean, that's just so messed up to me.
Right, but that's the thing is you and I came in at the time where it's exploding, and I don't even think that we've even come close to seeing where it's going to be. I was just thinking about it. It's like since that first tournament that I played, the Beer City Open with you, which was, 2.5 years ago, a little bit more than 2.5 years ago until now, the sport has exploded. It's insane.
Yeah.
I didn't know, we didn't know our ass from our elbow when it came to to pickleball back then. I mean, we were sitting next to a table full of the top pros that we've now had on the podcast and didn't even know who they were. And that was just 2.5 years ago. Imagine what it's going to be like in another couple years. It's insane.
Yeah, it's nuts. And like I still like it it's crazy to think about, like when you and I did the Beer City Open 2.5 years ago, like we didn't know what to expect. We didn't even know that there was like a pro pickleball division and stuff like that. Like I was expecting that we would go to like a high school like tennis court area that had a bunch of pickleball courts taped off.
Yep.
I didn't realize there would be this great big facility with dedicated pickleball courts. I mean, I had never seen or experienced anything like it. It was like pickleball heaven when we went there at Belknap Park in Grand Rapids, Michigan. I mean, it was crazy. And we've mentioned it before on the podcast, but like I still kick myself so bad for like not realizing the pickleball greatness that we were in the presence of at that Beer City Open.
We didn't even know what we didn't know, right? That's the thing is like we were just two guys with cameras at Perrin Brewing Company. Nobody knew who we were. I mean, we met some really cool people that night. We met, Tom and Nicole Miller, who have become really good friends of both of ours. We met, who was it? Temper Sports. We met them there. I mean, there was a lot of cool people that relationships we still have. And, but we didn't know. We didn't know anything then.
Yeah, it's crazy to think about. And it's funny because we look at pictures that people took during that first event, and we're like right there, like literally inches from Tyson McGuffin. We didn't know who he was.
Right. Yep. No idea.
We could have had beers and been cheersing and toasting with Tyson McGuffin, but we didn't know who he was at the time.
Jeez.
It's crazy. It is crazy.
It is a crazy world, but that was a great conversation with Chris Mills Miller, one of the legends in the sports. It was cool to hear his perspective. I mean, it's crazy to think, 32 years now he's been playing. That's nuts.
Yeah, it's so wild to think about. But man, it was so cool to hear him talk about what he's gone through, the people that he's played with, and the experiences he's had. It was just such a cool experience tonight. I loved it.
That's right. Well, Webby, I got a question for you.
What is that?
Do you want to do dinking around or not? I'm gonna leave you to decide that.
I say we do it. Why not? You only live once, right? YOLO.
That's right. Well, I guess that means that, guys, after we take this podcast down, we're going to be coming right back up with another episode of Dinking Around with Eddie and Webby, but we are officially going to take the stream down and come back with it. So rejoin as soon as you get that notification, because all of you guys are subscribed to us, which means you'll get that notification right away that we're going to be coming back. And who knows what we're going to be talking about. We literally have nothing planned for Dinking Around with Eddie and Webby, so who knows what we're going to talk about tonight. You never know.
And the beauty of Dinking Around, if you want to join us, send us a direct message on the Eddie and Webby Facebook page. And if you have a webcam and good internet access, we can make this happen. Not kidding. We've done it before. We'll do it again.
We'll do it live. We'll bring you in live. Hot.
We'll do it live. Sucks.
I can already tell that both Webby and I have had a couple beers, which means Dinking Around is going to be extra saucy, even though tonight we are going to have to make the podcast adult only, because Chris Miller doesn't know how to watch his language, right?
Right. He did so good, but then at the end he dropped some F-bombs, some S-bombs,
it was
all
like
kinds of bombs.
After beer number 4, he's just like, F it, and
Right.
just decided, hey, I don't care what I'm going to say. I'm not going to worry about watching it.
Yeah, after I saw him crack open that third, after talking about how much of a lightweight he was, I was like, oh man, it's like a ticking time bomb.
Yeah. And it happened. Well, I mean, when we did the live stream with him and Deckel and Adam and Ben, same thing happened. So
Yep. I love it though. So fun.
That's right. Well, guess what, Webby? This has been podcast number 83, which means there's 83 of you out there still watching. And guess what? We love you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. And on that note, I'm Eddie.
And until next time, this is Webby, not Eddie, signing off.
See ya.